Okay, so I recently rewatched The Dark Knight Rises. I don't know, I was just in this mood where I'm like, I haven't seen these movies in a while, and I just want to watch them. So I watched Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. I actually saw Dark Knight around a month ago in my English class. We did it as like a project for my English class because my English teacher's cool like that. Oh God, yeah, I haven't seen this movie since it was released in theaters. So it's been about a good 3 years where I forgot how bad this is. This is really bad. Okay, there are some really interesting concepts that this movie sets up and completely fails in paying off. Bane being a revolutionary does not pay off at all. He starts off, and I can deal with the voice. I know a lot of people make fun of the voice. I can deal with it as long as what he says is making goddamn sense, which it never does. He makes nonsense speeches. I don't know what he's talking about, and he contradicts himself all the time. In the first scene, he talks about, no one cared about me until I put on the mask. And then that's never brought up again. And then he says he's going to take down the poor. No, he says he's going to take down the rich and give the power back to the poor when he breaks the stock exchange. And he never talks about that again. And then he says that he's going to give Gotham back to the people. And then he just kind of runs Gotham for a while with his thugs. Like, I don't know who's running Gotham when Bane takes over. I don't know. He says all these things and then never follows up on them. And then at the end of the movie, it turns out he was with Talia al Ghul the whole time. Which doesn't make any sense. Even Talia al Ghul's freaking motivation is completely off. I couldn't forgive my father until you murdered him. That doesn't make any sense. And she's played up as Miranda Tate this whole time, and she's played up as wanting to help Gotham. And people just trust her. People just out of nowhere, they just like, oh, this person who has no background, no one really acknowledges where she came from or anything. All they know is that she wants clean energy. Like, that's all everyone knows about her. I feel like in the real world where, or at least in the rules that this universe has set up, where Alfred can just Google shit about the League of Shadows, this top secret organization, and, 5 minutes after Bruce asks him to research Bane, he knows all this fucking information. I feel like people will be like, hey, Miranda Tate, that's not your name. You're the son of Ra's al Ghul, the famous eco-terrorist who tried to blow up Gotham. I don't feel like anyone would trust her, but then again, the plot needs a reveal, and you need to tie it into the first movie. Which you could tie it into the first movie thematically. Like, he falls down the pit. He is put down into the pit by the rope. And, they bring up, like, they have that scene from the first movie where his dad asks, why do we fall? And you could have had that. You could have had his triumph, linked thematically with Batman Begins. It could have made sense, but then it didn't, because they start things and never finish them, and act like it's this mature masterpiece of Batman's character, which it never ends up being. God damn it. Okay. I don't want to come off as completely negative, because there are some things in this movie that are good. I like how Tom Hardy plays Bane. I like it. What they do with the character makes no fucking sense. But given a different role, I feel like Tom Hardy could have played an amazing Bane. and it's certainly better than the Bane that we got in Batman and Robin. Trying to think of positive things to say about this movie, and I can't really. The beginning is good, except, Batman just goes away for 8 years. He's like, I have to be the symbol of... Oh. Hi. I have to be the symbol of hope for Gotham, and then he goes away. For 8 years. Everyone thinks he murdered people, and then he doesn't continue to fight crime, and the mob bosses go away because of a magical act that is just passed that gets rid of all of organized crime. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. It doesn't make any sense. And okay, I get that it would eat away at Batman to, be hated by the public. And maybe if, he was gone for 4 years and, he beat a few villains, but people still didn't really change their perception of him because Harvey Dent is still seen as a hero, I can buy that. I can't buy that night, the night where The Dark Knight ended, is the last time anyone saw Batman. I don't get that at all. But whatever. I like in the first act, they set up so much stuff. I feel like, alright, it's going to play thematically with The Dark Knight, it's going to play thematically with Batman Begins, it's going to tie everything together. And then it just creates more loose ends throughout the bullshit that it just keeps making for itself. And this movie, it doesn't reach the bar set up by the first two movies. And I think what really, really falls apart is that the Joker is not mentioned at all. The Joker was a huge part of The Dark Knight, and that's not just me loving the Joker and him being one of my favorite characters. He was a huge part of The Dark Knight. He's the reason why Harvey Dent died. He's the reason why all the stuff happened in the second movie that, built everything up. And he's not mentioned at all. It's like the Joker didn't even exist. I can't believe that. I can't believe that this guy blows up a hospital, kills 2 city officials, and, turns Harvey Dent into Two-Face, and no one mentions him. No one mentions that he even existed. And, stuff that he talks about in The Dark Knight happens in this movie. And he's not brought up. The chips are down! These civilized people are eating each other! No one's going to bring up that, the Joker was right. No one's going to even say anything? I get not wanting to recast Heath Ledger. I understand that. I get wanting to, keep his performance to him. Respecting the dead and all that. I completely buy that. I cannot buy that no one in Gotham is going to even mention the Joker existed. I can't buy that. It's so freaking stupid. Ugh. And, they talk about Batman's history and stuff. They don't talk about how he brought down the Joker. They don't talk about, how he brought down the most wanted terrorist, presumably in the country. I mean, if somebody was walking around, I live in Pittsburgh, if someone was walking around Pittsburgh blowing up hospitals and killing city officials, I feel like he'd be one of the most wanted terrorists in the country. No one mentions that! No one ever mentions that at all! Ugh. God damn it. And Catwoman. Okay. Forgot to mention Catwoman. Catwoman is here, and Anne Hathaway gives a brilliant performance as Catwoman. She is an amazing Selina Kyle. She serves no purpose. She serves no purpose, and she feels like she's just kind of here. She kills Bane, which is fucking anticlimactic, and I'll get to that in a fucking second, don't you wait. And aside from stealing Bruce Wayne's fingerprints, I don't know why she's here. And I don't know why she's in the Catwoman costume every time she shows up. She's bringing Batman to Bane, and she's just in her Catwoman costume. She's not gonna steal anything. It doesn't help her hide in the shadows, because that's not her thing. I don't know why she's wearing it. Except, she's Catwoman, and, this is a Batman movie, except it's trying to play realistically, and that's... Why would you do that? Oh, fuck. I feel like if they at least mentioned the Joker and played into the themes of the first two movies thematically and kept the thematics of this movie fucking consistent, it could have been alright. Also, take out all the Talia al Ghul bullshit. Talia al Ghul does not need to be in this movie. I could understand, Liam Neeson being in this movie, fear-induced hallucinations, like he is in The Hole. I like that scene a lot. But, except for all the exposition with Talia, whatever. I like that scene a lot because of what Ra's al Ghul's talking about. You could still have that there and tie it into Batman Begins. You don't have to shoehorn in Ra's al Ghul's daughter. You don't have to do that. Yeah. If you're going to watch the Nolan movies, watch Batman Begins, watch The Dark Knight, and then pretend like the last frame of The Dark Knight is the end of this universe. Because Dark Knight Rises is so disappointing, and, the villain is just blown up for the sake of a throwaway line. Ugh.